Hi guys, it's Maya
and Vanessa,
and we are coming here today to tell you a little bit about our experience meeting in person for the first time. And if you guys don't know one of us, or both of us, I am a psychic, a healer, and intuitive life coach, and I own a business called Maya's Bright Star Creations.
And I'm Vanessa Quintero from Vanessa Living. I have an Instagram and a YouTube under that name, and I'm an intuitive empath, and I do readings and coaching as well online.
Yeah, so we have really similar businesses, and we're like best friends, but we met in person for the first time, what was it?
On Thursday.
On Thursday. Today it's Monday, so it's been just a couple of days. And if you are a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you probably know that this is something that I talked about in a previous video. Just what this process is like and what it's like to be in the same soul group. And a lot of crazy things happened when we tried to come together. So in this video, since we're going to be working together, we just wanted to talk a little bit about how we met and what's happened since we tried to come together. So I'm going to let Vanessa start talking about how we met and our crazy stories.
Yes. Okay, so to begin, I actually reached out to Maya online from her business when she first started. It was February of 2014.
Yeah.
And I reached out to her because I was searching online for guidance on my soul origins, like what was I supposed to do on this planet and such, and love and all of this. So I emailed her and I sent her a picture of myself, and what did you think of it?
I was like, oh my gosh. It was about my 30th reading because I did one a day at that point, and I just founded my business in January, so I was so new. I opened the picture and I was like, oh gosh! I didn't want to creep her out with the reading, so I just answered her questions, but I knew as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this person is in our soul group. I was like, this person's so familiar, and I tried to not be creepy, because she asked about like past lives and soul origins. Right. I didn't want to be like, if we're from the same but I knew, so that was interesting. So I told her after the reading, I was like, oh, let's do a follow-up call or whatever.
And that follow-up call turned to talking every day since then, all day, pretty much. Well, we started and we didn't really say good morning or any of that. We would just kind of check in, how are you feeling? And as far as the questions that I asked her, she would ask me how are you doing with it, or are you doing this, or to improve. And then it kind of just evolves into this really beautiful friendship where we would text or message morning all the way till we went to sleep. So.
Yeah, and I actually became nocturnal here because she lives in California, so I would always be awake until 3 or 4 a.m. because she would be up until midnight. And
just recently, just this past month, or at least for me, we started noticing how closely we were merging. I would be eating, and she would message me, and she'd be like, "Oh, are you eating bread? Because I'm craving bread right now, or something." It's really cool to me.
Yeah, and we developed a lot of mutual friends, and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't really tell you guys apart, your voices when we're audio messaging and stuff." So we started to get a lot closer, and we were both kind of dealing with really intense soul connections, and so we were relating on that way. And we just thought a little while ago, well, we need to meet each other.
Yeah, because it was getting to the point where it seemed like everything was done, and we just kind of needed to move forward and take the next step. Yeah. And since I lived in LA, I'm not the type of person to make drastic changes really quickly. So I think this was, I know this was part of my own growth and my own healing to just kind of say, well, I'm going to a different time zone. So, yeah. So I got on a plane and said bye to my family and my friends, and I decided I would probably be out here for at least 2 weeks. I made it so that we could work and make videos and kind of plan out what we want to do with this. And I got on the plane, and it was really nerve-wracking, but in the back of my mind I kept thinking this is my mission, this is what I need to do. So it kind of helped ease the anxieties a bit, and it really, really helped me release and surrender a lot. And I got to the airport, and I was expecting for this beautiful lady to pick me up.
Yes, me too. And I did that.
So this reminds you a little bit of, you said something?
Yeah, so I knew Vanessa was going to come here, and we maybe planned it started talking about it 6 weeks before or something like that. So it was the day on Thursday, and that night before I had this terrible dream that I hit something on the road, and I got in a car accident on the way to pick up Vanessa, and I was like, oh, it's just my fear, it's just my fear, and I was like, no, this is, to my guides, oh no, this is not going to happen, and but if it does, send someone to rescue me. And anyway, so I get on the road to go there, and I was so excited. I was pumped. I was like, yeah, finally.
She brought snacks, sourdough bread.
Oh yeah, I brought all these snacks for her to have. So I was like, oh, she's gonna be hungry and tired. So I brought a pillow and blanket and stuff because she traveled for 24 hours. And then, right in front of me, the exact thing I saw in my dream happened. Something fell off of the car in front of me onto the road. It was a spare tire plus the tire holder that holds it onto the car, and it was in a construction zone where it was one lane and there was concrete on both sides. So I had hit it. So I hit it. It ripped all this stuff out of the undercarriage of my car, my whole muffler and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh no! And it was 15 minutes before I was supposed to get her. So I wasn't able to get her at the airport. So this is the first crazy thing that happened when we tried to come together. And I was telling her the only time something like this has ever happened to me was when I tried to come together to move in with Zaire, who is my twin flame. And in that case, there was road closures, flights canceled. There was the most crazy circumstances ever. So that happened. So it was so sad. So I had to call Zaire, and I was like, oh my god, I can't. I was like, I have Vanessa, I can't get Vanessa. I was so sad. But then that man that I had asked for from my guides, he came and rescued me. So that was good. But yeah, so that was the beginning of our crazy time together on Thursday. So Zaire went.
Yeah.
And
keep in mind, I haven't met any of them before.
Never met each other.
And it's so weird though, because when Zaire pulled up, in his car at the airport, and I just waved, and he waved back, and he just honked. I'm like, oh, that's the car, and I just get in, the most normal thing, which is so weird, and it's hard for people to understand, if you're not familiar with soul connections or things like that, because obviously my own parents, they were worried, do you trust them, and it felt like we were meeting again from millions and millions of lifetimes before. So I was fine. So I get in the car, and we just start talking, having a conversation, and it was the most natural thing. And then we ended up having to go meet Maya instead of her picking me up, so we did.
Yeah, so we did that, and so then when I first met Vanessa, I was all flustered because I just dealt with a small car crash. But no, it was just so wonderful to finally see each other in person, because it was this weird feeling that we've had, we were together in a past life or something like that, or in some other place, and then now we're here, and it was so weird to be apart that whole time. So that was kind of the first real weird thing that happened on Thursday. I can hardly remember.
I remember. We woke up the next day. Wasn't that the power outage?
Oh yes.
I woke up, and I think you were doing a call. Yeah, you were doing a call, and she turned off her Wi-Fi from her laptop because she was working, and I had my phone charged, and I noticed that it wasn't charging, so I was like, oh, that's weird. I looked at my laptop, and the Wi-Fi was off, my light was off, and I went to go make my oatmeal, and the stove wouldn't work, so I was just kind of curious as to what was happening. So I told Maya, and
so I came out from my reading. I thought things were just going weird because I was connected with spirit or whatever, but I came out, and I was like, oh no, and I opened the door, and the hallways were dark, and that the elevators wouldn't work, and I said, oh my gosh, we shut down the town. And I was
our vibration was so high or something.
So we were like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to go outside because it's totally dark. We live in this old creepy building, so we went down to the stairwell
in our pajamas,
because whatever, we couldn't really get ready. And it was kind of scary and kind of creepy, and I was like, oh no, yesterday something weird happened, and all before she came, I kept having anti-gravity experiences and spilling all this water, and I spilled a can of paint on the ground and on our carpet, and I was really bad. All these crazy things started happening. So we went out to the streets, and Zaire was at the gym, so we went and got him, and as it turned out, the whole town had actually lost power.
The energy just felt really different. It felt like the end of the world.
It felt like the apocalypse. I was like, oh dang.
Okay.
So that was that first day on Friday. That was the second weird thing that happened, was that the power outage went on. Then it did come back on after it was off for a couple hours, but that sort of town power outages, that's not something that really happens very often. So So we thought, okay, well, we needed to get some of this, some more of this, selenite, we needed some of that. So we were going out to metaphysical shops to try to look for some, and as it turns out, it's not easy to find.
I wanted one just like this, and
yeah. To the person who sent me that, thank you. I didn't realize how rare it is. But anyway, so we went to a shop, and well, before we went, of course, the night before and then the morning of, we did card readings for ourselves and for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that morning, Vanessa had gotten some cards.
Okay.
She got like the relationship card and then like the ask card,
yes.
like all these cards that said like, ask your guides, and like I could have done a reading for her, and she could have done, one for herself.
Exactly.
But that's what we do all the time. So we're like, let's mix it
Might
up
as well
today.
branch out. Yeah. So we get to the metaphysical shop, and we're just looking around at the crystals and things, and then the this kind young woman, she was at the cash register. She was saying, "Oh, we offer readings." And I looked at Maya, and I was like, "Like, should I do it?" I was kind of excited because I've never, had a reading before other than Maya and myself.
Yeah.
And so I just decided, I just paid for it, and we went upstairs, and
Yeah, so
little did we know.
little did we know, we do our businesses like online, and we just do the best we can every day, and we don't like compare ourselves to others. That's
Right,
something that
right.
we really try not to do.
Right.
So we were really surprised by what occurred next in this reading.
It was contrast. I think that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
a big, and we're both very, positive people, so we didn't see it as a completely negative experience. We just took it as we can learn from this, and this kind of shows us just how well fit we are for what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because the woman, she added a lot of her own personal experiences in the reading.
Like
And
90%.
it was,
Yeah.
she said it before, I'm trying not to add, too much of my life, and then she just threw it, there.
Yeah.
So Maya and I are kind of thinking, we actually healed her, if that makes any sense. Like, us just sitting there, and she even said that she never really brings up that story of her own life to
Yeah.
anyone, and she just was venting to us the entire time. And she said some things that were kind of jolting for me. Like, it just changed my whole vibration. I was there really excited looking at the crystals, and then she just kind of said things that weren't aligned with my truth at all. And I showed her a couple pictures, and she mentioned some were creepy and things like that, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't, what I was expecting. I mean, I went in there with an open mind. I wasn't expecting anything. I just said I was going to get clarity, and it felt really, really uncomfortable and really sad. And I was trying to hide it from Maya, because I was like, she's here, it's like,
Yeah, I know,
time, and then I was crying, and she started crying. I was like, oh my god, this is awful. This is terrible. It wasn't good at all. So we left. I mean, she had good, insights and points like that, but it wasn't. It was a very unsettling experience for me. And then we both kind of left in this vibration of, the energy literally felt like someone died. That's what it felt like.
It was horrible. It
Yeah.
was really odd for me because, it was odd for me for a lot of reasons. I'm reevaluating my business right now and thinking about how can I be of the greatest service, and asking this question, should I keep doing readings? Should I not do readings anymore? Should I just write books, or what should I do? And so it's really interesting to go into this reading, and this woman, she charged probably twice the rate that either of us do, so that was really interesting, first of all, to see that. And then what came out of it was maybe 5 or 10% of the information from spirit of what we would provide in the same amount of time.
Exactly.
And she vented to us a lot of her own stuff. So there was a lot of her own stuff. So there was a lot of heaviness when we left, and I started feeling very weird as soon as we walked out of there, and I thought, oh no, something is going to happen. I processed a lot of things physically. And as soon as we walked out of there, I didn't know if it was her or what, or if it was just upgrade to all of us being together. But I started to have this feeling of awfulness. I felt like there was a tiny rubber band wrapped around my head, and I felt all this going on in my crown chakra. And meanwhile, we were thinking, have this odd feeling like someone's dying or we're dying.
I almost want to say true love too, and that's gonna be a thing you're gonna see, because so we were both feeling like this. She was having this head thing, and we were actually gonna go to more shops, I believe, after. But she was like, what, I have to go home and lie down or something. And so we had all planned to see a movie later, and that was the next thing after she got her rest. We ended up going to see.
We went to see Me Before You. So during my resting time, I lost my vision, and I saw these weird shapes and stuff. I think I got upgrades, as a result of all of our energy. But we said, you know what we're gonna do? Because we were down here. We were funeral level. And so we were this is not a good way to spend our first day together. Let's restore our faith and love. Let's go watch Me Before You.
So we were so excited because I haven't seen a nice legit love movie in a while.
Like,
we were together, we're
Yeah.
like crazy for love,
Yeah,
so we're like,
yeah.
might as well go, you know? So we went.
Oh my goodness! Oh no! I mean, it was very beautiful,
The
especially at the beginning.
The beginning
Yeah.
was beautiful. I even mentioned to Maya about the actress that they chose for the movie. Like,
Yeah.
it was very, what is the word that I'm looking for? Revolutionary. Is that it? Like, they didn't use
Yeah.
like the usual type thin actresses that they normally use. Like, she was just a really cute high energy vibe
Yeah.
girl. And it was beautiful how like they looked at each other, and we don't want to spoil the movie.
Well,
Or
it's gonna be hard.
yeah, but we went to restore our faith in true love, and what happened?
And we just thought this is gonna be a beautiful movie. Like, they're transcending like the physical nature of their connection, and they're gonna choose love. And well, it was just awful because we talk all the time about the feminine and the masculine, and like how this relates to divine union and whatnot. And then at the end is the masculine, he removed himself from the planet, and we were like, this is like absolutely not what we
were
need.
crying
We
so
were like
bad.
bawling.
So
it was like
we had that reading that was just totally not okay, and then went to see this movie that felt like death poured all over our body again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we were like in there like after the movie ended, like
we like hugged each other. It felt really, and we actually reached out to some of our friends, and they actually said they were feeling the same energy.
Yeah,
right?
some other people that we know that are also psychics and stuff, and they're like, oh no, it's not just you
Yeah.
guys, like it's everyone.
But it felt like we were experiencing it for the entire collective or something, because it was all at once.
It was really crazy, and I was like, wow, we have like a couple more weeks to go. This is like really intense.
Day 2 or day 1.
So that's kind of how our time together started, and then we took a date, and I have this weird thing where my guides, all they tell me to do is just detoxify my energy and my body all the time. So then we took a day, and we just like walked like 7 miles like all throughout the forest, and went like swimming and all that kind of stuff. But it's been crazy coming together.
It's definitely not like someone you meet like in high school and then you don't see each other for a while and you meet again and like just casual like go for like lunch in the movies. It's not like that at all. And I kind of had a feeling that it was going to be special. Well, obviously, but I didn't really think it was going to be this crazy.
It's so crazy and it's so weird. Like when we did sit down for that reading, the woman was like, "Oh, you guys are really cute sisters," and we're like, "Oh no, we met yesterday." We're like, "That's not what's happening here."
Yeah.
But it's like when energies come together that are of the same group, it like catalyzes so much, and it brought up like really weird things like between Zaire and I that are like really like similar to things that she's experienced.
Yeah,
there's so much.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Like I'll watch them and I'll see them interacting, and then all of a sudden I'll get like this feeling of wow, like I do that in like some of my own relationships or just like who I am as a person. Because Zaire has a lot of similar energy as I do in some things, and Maya and I have the same energy in different aspects. And so I'll look, at Zaire, and he'll do something, or he'll like make a face, and I'm like, what? Like it just feels so weird to have like another mirror, I guess you could say. You know?
Instead of like one. With twin flames, is everybody knows this. It's intense.
Yeah.
One mirror,
and then have like, and so there's 3 of us living under one roof for a while. So we're working on like having personal time. We have to, like, all of us are empaths, so we have to have that time to recharge. So, like, she'll literally say, I'm going to lay down for 15 minutes, or, like, I'll just kind of be in the room and stuff, but,
Yeah, it's so crazy. We might make a video, the 3 of us, about, like, what is it like with, because we're not just sensitive people. We're like, really sensitive people, so, like, everybody together and stuff like that.
That'd be good,
But we just wanted to kind of introduce ourselves and just talk about, a little bit about, like, what happens when you catalyze these energies together, and what does that actually look like? Because a lot of people experience intensity in these connections. So anyway, so we want to talk about that, and we are going to now finally, after these clearing for the first couple days, we're going to start actually making videos together and working together. So this is our launch.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's been beautiful though. Like we talk about all of these intensities, but it's just really nice to feel like it's home. Like I've never met her before in person, but it feels so natural, and it feels like this is where we're supposed to be, so that's always a nice feeling, even though, it might be going crazy outside, at least that this is what you're supposed to be doing, and again, we're healing, that's what we're doing. So.
Yeah, everybody's healing a lot, and I'm so proud of this one for leaving her routine stuff. It does feel like you're my sister, like
It
more
does.
than my own sister. Like we do belong to be like all living together and stuff like that. So that's really weird. Like that shouldn't be able to happen.
No. I shouldn't be able to just get on a plane and go to a stranger's house.
Yes.
That should not be okay.
But it does happen.
Oh, God bless.
So this is just our little preview. Hope you've enjoyed it. We're gonna go right on now, and Vanessa's story is just absolutely fascinating. I know a lot about it, but I don't even know everything. So I can find out more, and so that you can find out more,
And I can find out more.
and she can find out more. I'm about to interview her.
Yes.
And so I hope you guys will watch that video too. It's going to be about her journey with healing her body, and we both healed our bodies in different ways. So this is going to be our focus point here for the next couple of days. But I'm going to talk to her about a pattern of restrictive eating that she went through for a long time and how she healed that.
Yay.
So stay tuned.
Yay.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.